Hi everyone, Mikefield here, and today we'll watch a very simple matchup for Caitlyn, which is Caitlyn into Vayne. Now it's a very easy one for Caitlyn because you just get to snowball through the lane very easily if you just follow those very simple things, those very simple steps that I'm going to show you. So this is a Platinum 2 game, I believe, which means it's neither high nor low. Now we can, I'm just going to walk you through the matchup and show you how you can capitalize on Caitlyn's kit into Vayne. Because not so many people actually know how to do it. I used to play a lot of Vayne and very rarely did anyone actually counter me as hard as they were supposed to on Cait. You can kind of try to replicate the results on Varus and on Jhin. I mean, you can just follow the same thing. So you can notice that the moment we arrive at lane, I actually warned my Zyra that we really need to push the lane as soon as we can. We assume that Jax started blue, so the possibility of a cheese gank is very low. Now you can see that we're continuously pushing the wave. I did waste quite a few CS on this one, by the way. It's kind of like something I need to work on, but that's not the point. The point is that you want to push the minions into the tower, and you don't walk away from the tower, you start auto-attacking it as soon as you reach it. What this does is it allows you to just get the first tower blood very easily into the game. You can see that I scale trap second. This is because I just create some more zone control under the tower, which means that you know, they don't have as much freedom of movement as they normally would. So you can see that I try to stick in some auto attacks every now and then. Now you can see that we're continuously pushing the wave. That's the most important thing. You can kind of ignore the CS. I mean, you obviously just want to take as many as you can, but the most important thing is to keep the wave pushing. You can see Jax finishes the rotation. He goes top lane to gank because he started blue, which means that he went to red buff, got his level 3 of a camp. I think he went blue, wolves, red. He went top lane, he failed the gank, and that's basically another, you know, green light for us. Keep pushing the lane. When the jungler shows top lane around, I don't know, 320, that's like really a green light for you that you're free in the matchup, right? So you can see they are pretty desperate. They are CSing well, however. It's 18 to 16. So the Vayne is not missing out on the CS, but that's not really the point of the matchup. The point of the matchup is that you try to get them really low before the enemy jungler shows up. You get them low, you get their tower low, you make them do something really desperate, something really stupid, something that they will very soon regret. So that's what we're trying to do here. We're just trying to shove them into the turret. You know, that you can see that it's slowly melting down. It's down to 50% HP at 4 minutes, which is pretty decent, I guess. We're trying to harass them as much as we can. You can see that the Zyra is actually playing very well. She's playing along in this matchup, right? So she's just doing her job, she's pushing the lane. She's using her mana quite wisely, so she's not really trying to harass them too much. But instead she just... you can see they actually went super desperate. They tried to fight us, and the minion wave was pushed, so they took a lot of minion damage, they took a lot of poke damage as well. And this means they can actually keep pushing our lead even further. Now, so... you can see Vayne is down to 20% HP, maybe 30, same as Fresh. And they are actually getting a very desperate gank right now. We're standing in a full minion wave, that's 5 minions, 4 right now, which is crashing into their tower. They have no health left. They go for this really desperate play. Fresh goes into a trap, takes empowered auto attack, headshot. Now Vayne walks into us for some reason. I mean, they thought they had momentum, but they didn't, right? They just started off with a very poor status. Like, I don't think jungler had any chance of landing a gank here, especially a Jax this early on. He just doesn't provide enough damage. They basically missed every skill they had. This actually gives us free turret, which is, you know, almost a game over for us. Because, like, Vayne losing a tower at, I don't know, 6 minutes means that she'll probably have to freeze her lane. And now I'm going to show you what you're actually supposed to do the moment you take the tower. So you're not supposed to be a monkey, you're not supposed to stay in lane and keep pushing it. If you have a better opportunity that you can catch. Now, we're trying to push in the wave, which should theoretically incentivize the Vayne to just freeze it. She's probably going to, as far as I remember this game, she's just going to freeze it at this point here. Now, she isn't doing the, you know, theoretically she's not doing the wrong thing. because she's kind of forcing us to come to the lane and just to go very deep into it and just expose ourselves to ganks. But we're not stupid, we just decided to do something else. Which is I'm actually calling Zyra to go mid right now because they were freezing this one. So they're going to catch up in CS, but they'll never catch up in the game anymore because by the time they actually, I don't know, try to unfreeze the wave or leave it, or even, you know, figure out that we're going mid, it's going to be too late already. You can see that our mid lane has actually won his lane as well. So we just find a weak point on the enemy team and they try to capitalize on that one, right? So since they have a losing matchup mid lane, and that matchup is actually snowballing as well, we just go mid lane, we take the tower as well in here, and I think we can actually just keep pushing from there. You can see Vayne is already stuck on the minion wave. They have like 10-15 minions, she doesn't want to lose them. Fresh makes a mistake here. If you're a support in this position, you always want to try to help your mid lane, especially if they are in this very, very weird situation. Katarina actually lives with 10 HP here. She gets away with 10 HP from the, I guess, kind of a gang. Wouldn't call it a gang, but we take a tower again. So, you know, top lane is kind of an island this match, right? She's just farming as much as she can. But the most important part here is that we're actually pushing again, right? So Vayne is stuck under her tower with this huge minion wave, which is farming for some reason. By the way, mind you, the name of the Vayne, it's a sick Vayne. It's not any regular Vayne. Katarina dies in the mid lane in the meantime. You see, we have so much power right now that we can just push through this lane. Now Rumble goes for a super aggressive play. He kind of fails again. And this game is just going out of control for us. So we can see that Vayne is still stuck under her tower. I guess as a Vayne, if you lose this hard, there's like very little... There are very few ways for you to come back into the game. Now Rumble dies here as well. I E into him, I auto attack him, he dies. We can just keep pushing the tower. Vayne hasn't participated in a single fight until the 8:30. You can see how far she's behind. And this is because she just lost the lane really hard. I think that Jack's gang actually really screwed them over, but that's, you know, that's a desperate kind of plays that people do, that people make. I think I'm gonna kill the Katarina here and die. Yeah, she's dead, and I'm also pretty much dead. I should have kept auto-attacking the Jax here. I cancelled an auto, he lives. Just because of that, if I auto-attacked him once more, he was definitely dead. You can see Vayne tries joining her team here, but it's just way, way too late for her. Yeah, top lane is an island still. I mean, Rumble occasionally joins us mid lane and feeds us free kills, which is nice, I guess. Sick Vayne is sick. She hasn't ulted still. It's, yeah, 9 minutes into the game. She barely hit level 6 by now. I mean, we were 6 as well. Never mind. So you can see that we kind of slowed down here. I'm just going to speed it up because that's basically how the game has snowballed already. I go bot side. Katarina tries to make a play on me. I flash out because I kind of got scared that she would kill me with the dagger. Yeah, we chase her down and kill her because she has no disengage tools left right now. She tried fighting me without heal. I wasn't sure if I could kill her or not. That's a bit annoying thing about Caitlyn, because it's like I'm kind of hitting my mid-game spike almost at 10 minutes into the game, and I'm still getting like 1v1 by 1-4 or 0-4 Katarina, 1-6 Katarina. That's even more funny. But the important thing here is that we just keep pushing. You can see, like, mid lane is down to 30%, top lane is down. The nice thing about the first turret of the game and then just continuing to push another one is that you provide your team with a lot of global gold, which means that like your entire team gets a free kill basically, almost. So Vayne gets caught and dies again. We just don't bother, we try to auto-attack the tower as much as we can and we back off. I'm kind of afraid of getting one shot by the Katarina. And that's how the game snowballs, basically. They try to go in, they fail to engage on us properly, so that they get caught, they get trapped, they die. Rumble gets away with like a sliver of health, never mind. He actually dies as well. Now Jax tries chasing us. I think I just decided to bail on the Zyra here. She had no chance of surviving, and she just dragged me along. So I decided to just disengage, go for my turret. Zed kills the Jax here, I think. Yes, he does. Okay, so that's basically it. We have two very vulnerable turrets in the bot lane and in the mid lane. Poppy is just solo pushing top because, you know, Rumble is just forced to respond to us, and they still keep losing 4v5 just because we're so far ahead right now. You can see I'm 6-1. The CS is even, but it doesn't really matter at this point because we took 3 towers, they took none, and we're actually pushing onto, you know, we're just basically back on the push right now. You can see I have Hurricane and BF, Sword, and Berserker Greaves at 12 minutes. That's really huge. My CS numbers are not too impressive, but this game isn't really about CS right now. It's about pressure, really. You don't want to lose all the momentum, you know, so you just want to keep pushing all the time until you win the game. Because if you give like Vayne, I know, 20 minutes to recover, she's going to eventually, you know, get this, I know, 3-item power spike or 2-item power spike and just snowball out of control. So you don't want to give her any way back into the game, so that's why you just keep pressuring. You ask your team to group, that's very important. You ask your team to group, and you just, once you take the bot lane turret, you just go to mid or top, do the same thing. Basically you just try to pick onto the weakest point of the enemy team, except for the Vayne, because Vayne is going to suck if you play the matchup correctly, right? But you just want to go for the weakest point of the enemy team, which was Katarina this game. Could have probably been Rumble as well. Just depends on how the matchups go. Another important thing, I guess, is to remember that it's not always that you know, you end up with another winning lane. So then it's kind of a difficult decision what you want to do. I would say that you have a couple of options. You can just go top lane because top lane is a nice place. You can see the mid lane is like kind of risky. Pushing mid lane means you're exposed to ganks from here, from here, from here, and from here, and you don't want to do this. I mean, you can, but this is very risky because you can get, you know, bot lane can still roam onto you, top lane can roam onto you. You don't really see their jungler because there's just so much to ward. Whereas if you go top lane and top lane is going even or is losing slightly, there's only basically like there are 2 paths from which they can gank you. So you put a deep ward here onto the river. Maybe here, depends on whom you're playing against. Another one here is just irrelevant, we're stomping them right now. And then you just try to take the top lane turret. That's the important thing you really want to do as Caitlyn. So you try to leverage this early lead into a snowball. That's basically the textbook play for you. You see we're taking Nexus turrets right now. They kind of gave up, I think. They were reflaming the sick Vayne quite a lot. I mean, this is like a very cocky thing to do, you know, picking Vayne into Caitlyn, but that's what those, you know, cocky Vayne players very often do. I don't really understand why, because you just pick a losing matchup, and if you're not good enough to play it, you're not supposed to be doing it at all, right? But like, even a good Vayne has very little to say, I'd guess, in such matchup, especially when she has a melee support. So that's another thing, like they picked a melee support and they picked a Vayne. There's just like very little they could really do. I mean, like Jhin would lose this lane pretty much. Into Zyra, there's just no way that he could do anything. So that's it, people, that's it. We just push in the base and we end the game. Yeah. You can see Sig Vayne is 0-3-2. She's not so far behind in CS, but she basically lost the game of all the pressure we gave to the mid lane. Like, we kind of snowballed the lead we had. Had we not actually, you know, had the lead from Zed, we would have probably gone top lane, taken the top lane turret, probably killed their top laner as well. Because people don't really expect, you know, bot lane to roam so early. And another nice thing about roaming top is that if they like try to hard push the bot lane in response, very often your top laner will still have the TP ready. So if you go top lane after taking the bot side, you just push with their top lane if they have the TP, and then their top laner goes bot lane and is basically 1v2 against a very weak AD carry and a very weak support who are behind the play. Right, so that's probably what you can do as well. That's another valid point as far as like deciding whether to go mid lane or top lane at that point into the game. Just don't pick the winning lane, don't pick the losing lane of your team to roam onto. Mind you, if both lanes are losing and you really don't want to go top lane because let's say their top laner is just going to one-shot your ass, you can do something risky like trying to push the inner bot lane turret, or if they try to freeze, you can just try asking your jungler to come, just kind of camp them out, get 2 kills from from your lead that you have from taking the first tower, and just try snowballing from the bot side. But it's not advisable, I guess. Yeah, I flash over the wall because this is over. You can see like I auto attack the Vayne for what, 600 something. Pretty insane. So you can see how many items I have compared to Vayne. It's mostly from the turrets. Right, so she has 110 CS, I have 120, but I have 2 items and a half. And she has nothing. Like, she has an Infinity Edge and that's it, basically. Right, people, so thank you for watching this little guide. I hope that you did, find this useful somehow. Please make sure that if you did enjoy it, subscribe to my channel, comment below the video. And yeah, if you have any suggestions for the future videos or for anything I should be doing with this channel, just let me know. See you!